This is the Sales Babble Podcast, episode 453, Lessons to be Learned from Lost Deals.
Welcome to Sales Babble, the podcast that shares selling secrets for non-sellers. And now your host, Pat Helmers.
Hello, Sales Babblers. This is Pat Helmers, and excuse me if I sound muffled. My head is in the fog. Last week, just before the Thanksgiving holiday, I tested positive for COVID. At first, I thought it was allergies or a cold, but no. It's this. I must have contracted it in Las Vegas while I attended the MJ Biz conference. I guess this is the exception to the rule that whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. No, it hopped on the plane and it traveled to Chicago with me. So as you can guess, it was a quiet and a private holiday this year. Just myself and Denise, hot tea, and the Tao Te Ching. For those of you in the States, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, surrounded by family and friends, and counted the blessings of good health. With that said, all the world is our tutor, and that's the topic for today. But before we start, please make sure and subscribe to the podcast on whatever app you're listening to. That way you never miss a single episode. And now today's chapter. Lost deals are tutors. Sales is a process of becoming. Like budding trees in spring, they are in constant flux, shaped by deals both won and lost. While others elect to stay the same, the master seller knows this is folly. From the death of a purchase, they learn from past mistakes. They see lost deals as tutors for new deals yet to come. Trusting in the process, they approach prospects like a newborn. The buyers see the sellers as honest, a vendor here to help. And now today's story. On the phone, Pat called Chris and said, "Hey, I just heard the bad news. So sorry the deal fell through." "Thanks," said Chris. "I appreciate you reaching out. It hurt. But to be honest, I wasn't surprised. Remember all those caveats they had in the contract? I just knew something was amiss." "Yes, my thoughts exactly," said Pat. Chris went on, "I guess they never fully shared their concerns." "Not so much that," said Pat. "They never fully trusted us." "Or maybe," responded Chris, "they never fully trusted themselves. I don't think they know what they really want. I bet that's the lesson for the next time." "Yes," said Pat. "I like this insight. That is the lesson." The Los Angeles Lakers basketball phenom LeBron James has repeatedly said, "You have to be able to accept failure to get better." Every conversation, every relationship, every prospect, client, and customer is your tutor. They all have something to teach you on how to be a better sales professional, or at the very least, what not to do as a sales professional. In chapter 48 of the Tao Te Ching, it says, "In pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped." This applies here too. Life and selling is in continual change. Be awake to it. To download a copy of this week's Tao of Sales Babble chapter, you can find it in the show notes at www.salesbabble.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for our brief weekly newsletter with links to the podcast conveniently shared in your inbox. And if you could do me a favor, the next time a friend and family member is looking for a podcast to listen to, recommend Sales Babble. Word of mouth is the number one way to grow an audience. And lastly, did you know that podcasting is the easiest way of turning your executives into thought leaders with content that reaches your ideal clients? You've probably heard that podcasting is the new blogging. Why not learn more about Habanero Media, my podcasting agency for B2B brands? Let me help you start a podcast that will accelerate your sales today. Go to habaneromedia.net to reach out. Let's talk about what you can do to stand out from the competition. With that said, that's all I've got for this week. Until next Tuesday, take care and have a highly successful and a profitable selling day.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Babble podcast. Find us at www.salesbabble.com.
This is a production of Habanero Media.